right, this is True News 16. Once again, I want to bring on a subject that I had been talking about quite a bit, and I'm still seeing. I'm just perplexed. I'm falling over in absolute confusion, but I think I might have come to a understanding. Stand by. Okay, now, a couple months ago, okay, I was struggling and stuck on trying to understand what the deal is concerning everybody hating on Trump so much. Oh, they hate him. He's orange. He's this. Late night show just ranking on him constantly. I mean, his personality, his person, he's this, he's that. He's a bad person. He's rude. He talks this and that. He's dumb. He's mentally ill. Everybody jumping on the punch the Trump bag bandwagon, right? I mean, it's like, and it's obvious what you're seeing. It's on the television. It's in the media. It's in the music. It's in the water. Everywhere you go. That's the where they're pointing you to. I mean, if that's not indicative of how indoctrinated you are by media and sucking on television, and how much control television has had on you, and how susceptible people are to groupthink. I mean, if you can't see that, because that's all you're talking about. And then when you're talking about politics, right? They're talking about Trump. You should be in the conversation of politics, but no, this is not politics. People are just hating on the man, and people who are absolutely ignorant of politics. They don't even know what a president is. They don't know our three branches of government. They don't know the least thing. They know the least thing of politics or civil politics or anything. They know nothing, and they're talking about Trump. Oh, how they hate Trump, whatever. Oh, it's just, if something's bad, their mail is late, Trump. If anything happens of inconvenience in town, Trump. It's everywhere. The scare that you're not going to get your mail, Trump. The welfare. It's the rumor that the people aren't going to get their welfare checks anymore, Trump. Everything is blamed. Everything is blamed by Trump. Okay, and it's obvious. You got all of these people, and it's embarrassing. It would be embarrassing. You talk to people and you say, okay, what do you know about politics and policies? And none of these people, the majority of them, don't understand, don't know what the hell they're talking about. But they hate the man. Oh, the man's racist. Oh, why is he racist? And they can't last in a 30-second conversation with you to explain, why is this man racist? What exactly did he say? It's just. And so I it's been, I had a hard time with that. And then I say, okay, well, obviously it's the mesmerizing and controlling, mind zapping, indoctrination from the media. And I'm like, wow, how can so many people be so attached to their, news and CNN and, every narrative that they present, people just suck it up. And then I look and I say, well, then I realize it's a lot more than that. If you notice, okay, people who are of the world, people who are distracted. And now, when I mean distracted, I don't just mean physically distracted. I mean people who are not focusing in on the realities, spiritual realities. When you're a Christian, when you're a believer, you've entered into a different realm of understanding. The Lord gives you a discernment, and the discernment doesn't just fall on top of your head. You have this because you've read. You've read things. The Lord said, have you not read? And the Bible teaches that it's by reading the Word of God that you come to faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is believing that one day there was Moses that walked and parted the Red Sea, that Christ walked the earth and walked on water and healed and saved and literally snatched your soul from the pit of hell where we were going. We were once dead in our trespasses. We were once dead in our a part of us was dead. These understandings, these things that are found in the scriptures that the Lord speaks about, these amazing claims. This is not just reading history. This is not just a person who meditates on the Word, a person who has been spiritually transformed is also able to spiritually discern. So these are the people that, and not for nothing, but it's also a grace, because there are people who are not specifically spiritually transformed, but they're still able to see and pick up and sense and recognize when someone is manipulating them mentally. But there's something about a grace that's not there. There's a grace that's not in place where people can discern that they're being manipulated, that they're being led. These are the followers. And back in the day, I would liken these people to the days of school where you're kind of young and you're kind of easily manipulated, and you're growing into a peer group, clique, and you end up in a group of bullies, and you kind of wake up and you say to yourself, okay, you know what, I don't think I want to hang out with this group anymore, or this dude right here. This dude is kind of like, kind of silly, and you start meeting people and you start falling off off of certain cliques and stuff like that, because things start to rub you wrongly, and this person was cool, but just this is what they're about, and you're growing, assessing, all of these things, and people are just not able to do that. People are just not able to recognize when somebody's manipulating them, and they're getting them, and they're setting up a way for them to think, a group think, where now we're all like zombies and we're all believing the same thing. But how do you know that there's something wrong with that? Well, because you can't discuss it other than, no, I hate him, that's it, he's orange. And I don't know, to me it's so ridiculous. And I believe that a lot of these, bottom line, I believe that a lot of people that are like this are just detached from a spiritual maturity. They're just not there, and they don't have a discernible spirit. Because a lot of these people call themselves Christian. They call themselves Christian, and it's like, how does their religion, work if they don't have spiritual understanding, or they can't discern things spiritually, if they can't see the evils of this world? Here you have in the DNC, I didn't even see it, but I've heard commentary on it, on just the highlights of this, and it sounds to me like it was a damn freak show, where they had a bunch of unfortunate misfits up there. You got one guy that was calling himself a non-binary mermaid king queen, and he was a transvestite, and these are the people that they're elevating. You got another lady, some kind of a confused, multicolored hair character, music person that, I've never heard of. Then again, I'm out of the loop, but something tells me this person isn't very well known either. And this person, everybody, all of them, their central message for everyone wasn't genuinely, okay, one person was talking about one policy and the other one took on this policy. They were all generalizing when they spoke, and the only clarity in their speaking was that the man is not good. That the man failed, the man is evil, that the man is incompetent, the man, all generalities, no demonstration, nothing. And practically they want to blame him for COVID, believe it or not. They want to blame him for that. But the thing is, at the base, people that suck on their CNN and their television every day, people that are this susceptible and have been so zombie brainwashed, they listen to that, and they're so easily steered in a thought process without them even engaging their brains. And so they're so easily led, and it's true. What I'm hearing is that they're just trained to listen to someone else's thinking so that they can, follow, and it's so pathetic and it's so sad because they can't make arguments. And I'm talking specifically with the people who call themselves Christian, people that are calling themselves followers of Christ, people that should have supernatural critical thinking, discernment, understanding, recognizing evil when evil is presented, when evil is next to you. So they can latch on to this man's personal negative qualities, but they can't differentiate that between that and what's truly, way past, transcendent in importance, which has to do with policies, with social issues, with economic issues, with the issues that we're seeing now with this leftism that's out here, the propagation of these groups and this political platform reverting from a moderate political understanding to a now far left fascist socialist, Green New Deal, massive control, constitutions trampling, all of this stuff. They don't see it. You've got the propagation of transvestitism. These people who, were living under rocks not even 15 years ago, and I don't mean that they didn't exist, but they were people who did not have the voice that they have now. It's just that these people with this orientation, political orientation, and their understanding of how the world works, all of this stuff grows with the parallel of the ungodliness in the world, the not recognizing Christian values, which are family values, which are individual freedom. All of this stuff gets, warped. Individual freedom outside of a constitutional and a Judeo-Christian understanding, the concept of freedom is warped. The concept of family is warped. The concept of what's normal is warped. It's just warped. It's just switched. It's turned on its head. But then people do not see that. They don't see there. And then we're talking Christians watching this clown show, this clown show from the pit of hell. They're watching this, and they're not seeing these people were alive 10, 15 years ago. You don't see how the country has been catapulted into something that's unidentifiable. You don't see what's going on here. We see the rapid descent, based on the propagation and the legalization of extremely bad demonic and ungodly laws. And when the government sanctions, when the government is okay, and then on top of that promotes, disgusting policy, the populace gets all the worst. The people in there, and then you have the policies that they're trying to bring into the public education, the bad policies that are trying to be taught. I think it's somewhere every day I'm getting news of how the public school system is allowing some kind of an indoctrination into homosexuality and lesbianism, or they're teaching some extreme fake science like the climate change. They're trying to propagate all of this stuff. They're trying to force, and all this leftist leaning initiatives and stuff like that. They're trying to bring into the schools so that the next generation could be just as twisted. Okay, so there are extremely powerful forces, demonic forces, and these so-called Christians, they can't see it. They can't see it. Their spiritual discernment literally does not exist. Doesn't exist because they can't. It completely does not exist. They don't have it because they're not able to pick up on these dangers. But then after seeing something like that, a display like that, Donald Trump, I mean, he's so racist, he's so evil, he's so mean, he's so this, and I'm like, wow, you skipped over all of that. You skipped over the pit of hell to pound on a narrative that's been pushed heavily in every corner of the mainstream media, and you don't have your own thought, not a genuine thought or assessment for yourself, and you're just hammering on a person's personal personality, which is what I wanted to say. You're just hammering on a man's personality or a man's personal flaw, his personal flaws, his abrasiveness. I have news for you. When you come against a demonic force that wants to change your nation, the way in every aspect, economically, socially, you name it, that wants to force feed extremely bad and ridiculous science, that wants to talk about Green New Deals and what that means, okay, and pushes globalism, Agenda 21, flooding borders, stuff like that. You come against that. You're not going to be able to fight something like that with a passive, soft-spoken statesman. Okay, a passive, soft-spoken statesman is not going to, commander-in-chief is not going to be able to address, against something like that. I'm sorry. So Trump, for me, is a person who loves his country, who's populist, who may be populist and may be nationalistic, okay, and those are good things, because every American should be nationalistic, should look out for their own country. Just because you look out for your own country doesn't mean you spit on someone else. It's only the left that makes that narrative, that if you're content and you're grateful to be American, then that means you have to find everyone else disgusting. That's not the normal thinking. That's the CNN type thinking that is pushed upon. Okay, so if you feel nationalistic, if you grab a flag during 4th of July, all of a sudden, I feel guilty. That's CNN talking. That's CNN talking. That's MSNBC. That's not reality. Okay, So I mean, I've had conversations where I use the word discrimination, and people are like, "Oh, no, 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 no." I'm like, I'm talking about discriminating between chocolate and strawberry, and then the person is like, "No, I don't. That's a bad word. You don't use discrimination." Excuse me, discrimination is a legitimate definition, vocabulary word, and it's not associated with culture or anything like that on a normal basis. That's not the only time it's being used. I mean, it's like people are so backwards, on top of the fact that they're ill-educated and they've been so victimized by extremely bad, education from elementary school all the way to quote-unquote university. It doesn't mean that, it just blows my mind. So, I mean, bottom line today, basically what I'm saying is that people are given over. Unfortunately, some of these people that are calling themselves Christian are not Christian. And if they are Christian, they're what the Bible calls it. They're people that are swayed to and fro. The type of person that, looks at themselves in the mirror, leaves, and then forgets what they look like. They're people that are not, it just talks about that type of volatile individual that may or may not be, children of God. They're not able to discern, and they can't identify evil or when evil is approaching them. Okay? If you cannot see the evils of what's about to fall on you, okay? If you can't see what's in your culture every single day and how your society is transforming, okay, and you're old enough and you're supposed to have spiritual discernment and see what these things are going, and yet you're so easily swayed by the propaganda that we're seeing every single day in the media, and you're just going towards you're just going to vote for this clown show of a demonic influence and persuasion that we're seeing every single day, that's anti-American, that's anti-Christian. If you can't rise above that to look at a man's personal qualities and be stuck on that in this political climate, and not see the people taking over your society socially, economically, politically, then I really feel sorry for you. I really do feel sorry for people that call themselves Christian. And I mean, the world is the world. The world is lost. The world does not have any kind of discernment, but Christians should have transcendent understanding. If not, I mean, the Bible says that we have the mind of Christ. Okay, could you imagine that? We have the mind of Christ. Okay, and Christians, believers, should be able to see these things. God bless. Until next time, True News 16. Until next time, bye-bye.